Hey, sweet babes. Hello, welcome. My name is Chris Farah, and today it's Monday, December 1st. It's 4:03. And we're going to talk Sister Wives. Guess what? It's season 20, it's episode 10. It's this live recap. I'm super pumped to hang out with you guys. Also, yay. It's a brand new month, my loves, and it's one more month of 2025. Have you heard? And then it's Christmas. I don't know if you know this. Just if you don't, I'm doing this for you. It's just a little like planning ahead. We're going to go through the holidays, Hanukkah, Christmas, all of them, New Year's Eve, whatever it is. Even if you don't believe that's what's going to be around you, and then we're done. We're done with this world. Okay? 2025 put like a fork in it, like a very long pronged fork with like almost like a skewer, like skewer the shit out of it. Hello. Oh my god. Hi, fabulous. I'm letting my curls, which listen, your curls are curling the shit. I mean, those are like, I think we've talked about this. I love your Chloe glasses. But your curls are so good, Jesse, and I'm like trying to get my curls back. And so often when I do lives, I have like come from the shower, and so my hair will be like, obviously a little wet. And then as we do this live in about 45 minutes, I'll have different hair. It'll be dry. But yeah, the curly hair method is like so interesting, and there's like so many different discoveries over the past couple of years of like how to get the perfect curl, and like don't use towels, use t-shirts when you dry, and your hair has to be like sopping wet, and don't comb it afterwards, and all of those things. And then now the new thing is the curly brush. It's a brush that you detangle your hair in, and then the knobs on the side like knuckles sort of like separates your hair in such a way that makes it curly. Like specifically the curls are defined. And here's the thing, like you also have to now train your hair. Okay, I don't know. God bless you. You did it. I'm working on it. I'm letting people get in the room, obviously. If you're like, why is this bitch just talking? And it's because I'm letting people get in the room as we prepare to discuss Sister Wives season 20, episode 10, which of course we will. On the the streets of Reddit, people are so LOLing over the image of Kody's apology tour, which is obviously what's being started on this episode, which is that he has to now go around to all his ex-wives in different parts of America and apologize for his really horrible behavior. But the funny thing about it is this is now being coupled with us seeing him supposedly being apologetic, sincere, understanding, not delusional in the special ops or special forces, where he was like taking accountability for his part and the absolute downfall of his family. And his part is, guess what? All of it. He keeps letting other things slip, like what happened here and what happened there. He keeps admitting things where I'm like, okay, well, if that's what happened, then why were you such an asshole? Why couldn't you just be like, yeah, I didn't want to do it anymore. I had a midlife crisis. Because at some points during this episode, it certainly feels like he does have a midlife crisis, or like that is what happened. So, which would, first of all, obviously, my other thought is, okay, that's one thing. If you're going to end the season on his apology tour to his ex-wives, is the next 6 seasons the apology tour to each one of his kids with meaningful, sincere apologies with specifics? Because that's the other thing, is that, you know, you have to give specifics when you apologize. Like, you can't just try and give a weird blanket apology like, I'm sorry for my part and what happened. I was immature. What part? What happened that was your part? What do you acknowledge that was like a lesson? So, having said that, that is what they have set up for the next part of the season, him going around and obviously talking to his wives. We're going to get into how that's set up. And obviously, we know which one he's going to start with if you watch this episode. And I also was happy. I was happy with obviously the small moments, because that's all we have with Sister Wives. But there were some, I feel like, interesting tidbits from Isabel about her relationship with her dad and such. And we don't get a lot of kid POV this season, except for Maddie. And it's interesting because it feels like Peyton would love to give more, and the producers are like, "No, we're good." You know? Okay, so let's start, shall we? It is, what time is it? 5:24. Let me actually just do I'm actually I'll start in 6 minutes. Ha, ha, ha. I'll start at 6 minutes, is what I mean. Not in 6 minutes, at the 6-minute mark. Um, I'm just going to put this one other place. Also, you guys, we're going to do this recap, and then I'll talk to you before and after. Well, obviously, I'm talking to you now before, but I'm down to stay and talk to you guys after too. I'm going to try and make this as clean as possible so that if people are listening and recapping or and replaying, they're not in like absolute hell. Also, if you're a Docu-Sweetie fan, you know that today was the last episode that we are going to create slash we posted, that is 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. And it's obviously been a great ride. And I, wish everyone the best. And obviously Wa is a dear friend and God bless it. So you tell me, what have you been watching so we can recap it on my new podcast? Obviously you guys know me. Um, you know that I have been using Vanity Fair for a long time. So that is the name of my new podcast. I'm super excited to be able to play with people and have a really fun solo book, a really fun solo podcast that I can just like have people on and enjoy and do pop culture stuff. And that'll be the new like platform. It's like a magazine platform. I get to have a podcast. I get to have a Substack. I get to like create content about pop culture and television recaps with an emphasis on detail oriented beauty, aesthetics, all of that. And I'm super pumped. So thank you so much for even being here and spending this time with me now. 7 minutes. I lied. Let's get into Sister Wives. I'll put it in the comments, hopefully. Sister Wives, honey, it's season 20, it's episode 10, and this is a live recap. So we start, and Janelle is still in New Orleans, and she is with her friends that she now at least lets us know that she's been with one friend for a long time, but the other two friends are recent additions in the Flagstaff area. Now, what she won't say is MLM. Now, we know that, and definitely you're like, Chris, stop saying it, but that is it. Okay, so those other two girls, and one of them has already passed. God bless. One of them has already passed, one is still in the MLM, and one has been her friend for a long time. And these are who Janelle has decided to go to New Orleans with. Now, obviously, the first part of her in New Orleans, I literally was like, get that woman some beads. Why isn't she showing some titties? But she remedied that. Well, kind of, the other half of the first part of me really ranting about her New Orleans trip was just the shitty food situation, because she was like, I'm going to eat weird food, and it's in a great eating city like New Orleans, and she just eats like, alligator and crickets, and you're like, oh girl, why? Such bad choices. You're still making them. Not just Kody, and not just like, like why you stayed there and whatnot, but like, God, Janelle, sometimes I'm like, do you want to live a little? Janelle feels like sometimes she wants to live a little. Like she, says things like um that she's so sheltered, and then she is so excited because she gets to still experience new things. There's a lot for me to still experience in this world. And that part of Janelle I get. The other part of Janelle is like, but I am going to go live on like a farm with my, daughter and her family, and that's it. And I'm done, which I understand, like the wanting of comfort and family. So I'm not going to take her away from that. But the idea of Janelle being in New Orleans obviously is exciting because it means sex, drugs, alcohol, voodoo, debauchery, hedonism, that's the word. Just like the resorts that I always was like somewhat obsessed with going to. There's adult only, like inclusive or whatever resorts that used to like advertise in magazines when I used to read them, back in the day of the print age in the 90s and 2000s. And hedonism 1 and 2 or whatever, those resorts were like some obviously like swinger sex taboo paradise that I remember reading about when I was in Catholic high school and Catholic school and like a uniform and being like, that sounds fun. Anyway, and Janelle must have felt that too, but Janelle is in her version of that now. And all she's doing is like eating weird food, going to a restaurant that like looks okay. It looks fine. It's just that that's not the kind of restaurant you go to in New Orleans. Like you go to Pat O'Brien's, Oscar, Pat and Oscars. There's 2 of them. And you get a hurricane. It's in one of those, like, big drink plastic things. It's disgusting, but you drink it, you know? And then, like, you shouldn't be the first one to be on a balcony delivering the beads to, like, the titties. Like, you in New Orleans, and Janelle specifically, has to be the pair of titties being shown. She should leave New Orleans with more, beads than, like, a Taylor Swift fanatic at a concert last year, like those friendship bracelets, like that's a lot of beads, but like she's just doing the most boring shit with the most boring people, okay? And I feel bad for her, but it's like I need her to have one fun friend. I mean, Maddie has to be like, "Mom, go get your back blown out somewhere." I don't know. Got I mean, I want Janelle to like wake up and just like enjoy life and like live viscerally on some like palpable electric level where every neuron's firing and every hair is standing on, the end of her arms for 1 second because she feels alive. Because the truth is, for some reason, I do feel like Christine feels that all the time. Mary, yeah, Janelle could use a little of just that kind of energy because even Mary feels a little overly giggly and overly joyous where I don't know if that's real or not, but she laughs all the goddamn time as if she obviously is enjoying like, the funniest humor of her life. It's like Joan Rivers is still alive in her head all the time. I mean, that Mary. But Janelle obviously is just a little more like chill, is like a wise soul. And so to see Janelle really let loose or enjoy something or get titillated or turned on would be ideal. I mean, that's the TV I want to watch. Now, will I get it? Mm, yeah. But then here's the thing. So Janelle with her friends, talks a little bit more about how Janelle wasn't in a polygamist, but was around polygamists and obviously like, Mormon adjacent, if not a Mormon. And she, was interested in the lifestyle and suddenly she fell into, being into Kody and that her mom came to save her from the evils of polygamy and that during that time, I guess, is when her mom met Cody's dad and then was like, bum, bum, and then just fell like, hardcore in love. And then like Joseph's mom and Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat or Isaac or whatever, Joseph's dad is like Janelle's mom because his favorite wife. And so then he wants to marry Janelle, which, she admits is like super gross. And we're like, well, gross isn't the word she uses, but, in our head, weird. And she's like, yeah, it was weird. Anyway, can you pass the bread? We're like, no. Then she's like, yeah, also Kody considered another wife before Janelle. And that was interesting, and we know then that that was probably Mary that was like, "Double hell no." And then I want the producers then to cut right to Mary, right? Because this is all we have now, they're not gonna ever film together, but they do this thing where they can jump back and forth when they realize bits of information. We have to go right to Mary to be like, "Oh, what, Mary? Can you elaborate? There was a wife before Janelle, it didn't work out? Huh, why?" You know? Um, and then Janelle says this. This isn't the first time that we heard this. We heard this from Kody as well, but she really, like puts it in plaque that he had a midlife crisis. She said that he changed at 50, like that he was just checked out. He just wasn't like into it anymore. He couldn't do it. Now, the timing around him turning 50 and him, falling more in love with Robin, all of that is, I have to do the math and your girl is a theater arts major. So wasn't going to do it for you, but someone else can. But he obviously acted like he had done no wrong. And now Kody is like, yeah, I did. I just didn't want to do it anymore. He admits, I couldn't do it anymore. And it's interesting because he must him in his mind, the do it anymore must must have been like, I can't spread myself thin. I can't run myself ragged. I can't give all of myself to every person that I've created anymore. I can't. I'm tired. And I've already decided I'd rather just chill and be with this one person and whoever I make with her. And anyone who will come hang out on the holidays with me, my favorite person, and the people I make with her. You know? Um, and obviously, that's a really hard pill to swallow if you're the 47 other kids that Kody has had and the 3 other wives. He didn't understand that that wasn't fair because I think maybe in his mind, he was like, I was doing so much and they were just always making me run around ragged and I can't do it anymore. And why don't they appreciate me and let me, rule the roost and do what I need to do because maybe that's how I saw my dad do it. I wonder if there's a part of Kody that's like, my dad just did whatever the fuck he wanted. My dad would just tell the wives what was up and they would follow suit. My dad loved Janelle's mom the most, and I saw my dad spend the most time with Janelle's mom, and we all were just like, well, dads do what dads do, slash what they want. We all just deal with it. And I think that there was a really big problem with Kody where no one wanted to deal with his choices, you know? And there's probably a lot to it. We're in a different age, a generation. There's a lot of females. We're in an educated, connected society where people have access to therapy and psychology and other people's opinions and like how things work and what you might not know because you were either ignorant or you thought there was no other way like 20 years ago or like 40 years ago, unfortunately probably kept people literally in the dark and assuming there was no other way but to just keep on, you know smile and obey. Not to bring up that documentary, but obviously I did. Have you guys watched Smile and Obey? Um, but obviously there's the internet now. So all the 47 kids of Kody Brown know that they don't have to smile and obey. And also they're like hardcore reality stars. So like they have, they move in this world with more power than, God bless, the poor souls that are trapped in fundamentalist cults and whatnot who don't have such wherewithal. And obviously the psychology of cults and like manipulative behavior doesn't end with people that can have a little power. Like anyone that has power can also be, led astray, Scientology, God bless. But you know what I'm saying? All of it's very interesting, right? So, all this to say, Janelle talking about this with her friends, at least I guess gave us moments to talk about her life. It's just that if you're not going to have Janelle be able to film with the family, I don't understand how really Janelle has no other people to film with besides work friends from like that she doesn't hang out with anymore. I wonder why there is no like sisters of Janelle that we get to really like have her talk about her family with, or like it's just Maddie is really it. Yeah, I mean, obviously the boys don't want to be on the show, and I get why. And I'm not saying the kids should be on the show after Garrison's passing, but still. Um, so Janelle was like, the minute I married Kody, the next week there was conflict with Mary, and I was like, "Oh fuck, it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be what I thought it was gonna be." And then I was like, "Great, now go to Mary." No, no cut to Mary. What was the first sign of conflict? Was it a power struggle? Was it that Janelle was like, "Can I have a drawer?" And Mary was like, "No." Like Mary hints at being insecure in this episode. We'll get into that more when we're getting into her dating life. There's moments of Mary talking about that where I was like, okay, A, it kind of gets into what maybe Kody was saying a little bit, and also B, kind of reminds me of like insecure attachment. Okay, so one point, Janelle's friends are like, "Would you go to therapy with Kody and Robin?" And Janelle's like, "No! Oh, no. Sorry. Double hell no. I hate them. No. I don't want to go to therapy with them. I don't want to go to heaven with them. I want out. I want to never see those people again. I like the fact that my kids hate them. Like, I like the fact that I moved on the other side of the country. What do you mean therapy? Zoom? No, I'm good. They wouldn't even get out of the car, honey. I wouldn't. I was. mm. I had to I had to fly across the country to go get this asshole to finally sell the lots he should have done a long time ago and get all his business right. And then he's late, and then he doesn't get out of his car. And now you're telling me, do I want to take any more time out of my last like years? Not last few years, but like she spent a long time with Kody. Last couple of years without Kody. Yeah, I'm gonna do it without Kody. I can't do it. So at this point, she is like indignant that she will get the spiritual release, which Mary got from Kody, which is, of course, that they have to go to whatever elders are left of whatever sect of polygamy, Mormonism, church, and be like, hey, that one, remember that Kody Brown? I know you do. He's on TV. He abandoned me, literally, figuratively, me, my kids. We need to not spend the rest of eternity together in the celestial lands that totally still exist. And I think that. But you know who doesn't? Kody. Another reason why I just grant it, because Kody has been definitely more vocal about reneging his faith on TV and not caring about what people think in his church, more so than Janelle. And he's already gotten, as I said, this spiritual release from Mary. And he was weird about it. And it was very obvious that the spiritual release happened in a way that was kind of on Mary's side. Where like it felt like unspoken the elders, is that what you call them? I don't know. Had looked at Mary and was like, girl, no, we know. We know. Not just we've been watching, but like God's been watching. We all know. And he's not it. We're so sorry. Yeah, you don't have to deal with him anymore. We'll cut that tie, just like an umbilical cord, honey. You're free, 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 free. Fly, fly, fly. And Janelle was like, "That sounds good," and it does sound good. I think she should. I think it's funny that Kody took such offense to that when he didn't even like Mary. It was just like this idea that the blame was gonna be on him, that the elders would be like, "You abandoned your, wife." And meanwhile, in his mind, he's like, "I did so much the whole time. I couldn't do anymore. Those ungrateful assholes wouldn't let me just boss them around and let me just, you know, love and be with my favorite wife, shy, pretty wife, Robin, all the time, my beautiful assistant." Anyway, um, so then in in conversation to this, that Janelle feels like she has to get the spiritual release, she says, "I'm doing it even if I don't believe all that stuff anymore, because what if I wake up and my religion is right and I'm in heaven married to him?" And then I remember there is literally a philosophical argument for believing in God and or believing, I think it's it's, I forgot exactly what, it's not the ontological. I did a mm, I went to a Jesuit college, so my, philosophy class was definitely theological, and so that to say, there is the theory for God's existence, or why you should at least believe in him, that one is just because if you don't believe in him and you die and he's right and there's a God and he's what I'm going to use here, but and there's a God, he's going to be really mad at you. So might as well just believe in God. What's the worst that could happen? You believe in God, then you die, there's no God. Oops. What's worse? Just believe in the God, honey. So when you get up there, and God's like, and you're like, "I did it the whole time. No, I knew. I've been knowing about you, friend. I've been singing your praises in all the mountains. You know me. Please turn to number 281, your music issue, and join us and sing I Love God." Just like that show, I Love LA. God and LA. Okay. So Janelle bringing that up was like, "Oh, I forgot about that." And I'm hoping that someone knows what I'm talking about. That last sentence, "I hope someone knows what I'm talking about," maybe is fundamentally, like, what I hope most in any sort of art or any sort of expression or any sort of joke or any sort of noise. If I make a noise or a look or a gesture, if I try and connect in this world, I certainly am just trying to hope that someone understands what the F I'm saying. But yeah, there is that kind of argument for God that's in like a heady college way. And so I'm going to have to look it up after this, honey, and think about it. But hopefully there's one other person that's like, I know what you're talking about, Chris. You're right. Okay. So then, obviously Janelle's like, we're going to do what you're supposed to do in New Orleans. We're going to have the full Mardi Gras experience. We're going to walk down Bourbon Street with 3 people there. What was this? Was this like Mardi Gras on like, I'm just gonna say a number. Like, was it on August 29th at like 11 a.m.? The Bourbon Street was deserted. Um, I forgot if there's not Fisherman. Yeah, there's Fisherman Street or something. There's um a street by Bourbon that's not Bourbon Street, obviously, which is stereotypical, that has really great jazz. Bourbon Street isn't fun. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's like some fun things on Bourbon Street, I guess. Like I've already talked about the dueling pianos, and there's like the carousel bar, and that's beautiful. You can kind of sit at this circular bar and it turns. It's not off Bourbon Street, but it's in the area. And it turns ever so slightly so that if you enter it and you're sitting on one side by the time you've ordered your drink, you're like on the other side of the bar. She doesn't go there. Janelle's not drinking. It doesn't look like she's drinking. She's throwing beads at, basically 2 people down there. You know who's drinking? Mary. Mary's drinking. She be drinking. She be drinking. So basically, after she throws some beads and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm having an experience. It's crazy. This is crazy." She talks to Maddie and she basically tells Maddie that Kody reached out to apologize, and we're going to hear why because he decides to go on an apology tour. And it's interesting because Janelle and him have obviously somehow the best relationship out of all the people, even though God bless Garrison passed, and even though she was, like the second to leave. He was devastated by Janelle, like he blames Janelle for seemingly talking shit about him to their children, but he despises Mary, despises Christine, and then somehow is okay with Janelle because either she gives financial knowledge to him or it feels like Janelle Janelle's energy never seemed to want to be with Kody as much as Mary and Christine. Like Mary and Christine certainly wanted Cody's attention and love. We keep being led to believe that Janelle and Kody had like a wildly active sex life. And surely they had a lot of kids, but it wasn't like there was a romance between them. And that's not I- I- he's whatever. She didn't seem to want it. She didn't seem to find him charming or attractive or interesting, which, girl, we get it. But in a way that Christine, for some reason, was holding on to. And Mary certainly wished and wanted. So maybe he knew he didn't have to play into that. She didn't want that from him. So she was just like, I went out and I did a lot of work for this. There seems to be something that she has over him. I think that Janelle has power over Kody in a way that Christine and Mary didn't, either by secrets or something that she knows. And I think that Mary knows stuff too, and that's why the NDA had to happen. But Mary never sat in her power that she had over Kody, if there is stuff she knows. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so well, obviously, let's move on to Mary. So for some reason, Jen's gone and Amber is back. Okay, so Amber is living with Mary for whatever reason, for however long. Don't ask questions because they're not going to answer them. It was so vague. It was the most vague lesbianic, like, sapphic thing where I'm like, "Oh, then if you're gonna be that's fine, but just don't tell us, like, yeah, I decided to just move into Mary's house when there was a part of my life where it really made sense, and we don't really have an end date. We're just gonna see how things are, but this is what's happening right now, and we're okay with it." It's like, it was so murky the way that they described it that it begs me to talk about it every episode. And Jen's gone, which where's Jen? Okay. So but Mary's like, "Hey Amber, guess what? I signed us up for a surprise dating event in Las Vegas." Now Amber is supposed to not know about this, even though Amber obviously knows. And Amber's on TV. So Amber's going to do whatever it takes, honey, to like have the free bed and breakfast room and, to get some followers. So Mary has found a dating website, Instagram called Vegas Girls, which sounds just like Cowboys and Angels, which was, the escort agency that ran Gigolos, which is that HBO docuseries that was on Cowboy and Angels. Vegas Girls sounds, yeah, even more, less to script. Even just like there's a website, there's silhouettes. You pick a silhouette and you just hope and pray that, they show up on time, someone. But yeah, it's a matchmaking service. This specific event, because Mary plays a reel for Amber that is so robotic and weird sounding that it's just like that. I can't believe it feels like there's another story behind her going to Vegas Girls. It's either run by the MLM or this is like a Lullaroo situation or something like that, because the reel and the sound of the reel where she played for Amber just felt so AI made. I'm like, this isn't real. Like, this isn't a real. This isn't actual. I don't even know if Vegas Girls is a thing, or they were just like, yeah, think of a name, Vegas Girls, like there'll be a billion things and you can't even find the real one because again, there's so many escort agencies. So there's so many cat houses. There's so many strip clubs. The funny thing is, again, like I've been to a strip club in Vegas. It was called the Crazy Horse, and it's huge, right? It's big, and it's also called the Crazy Horse, and there's like three of them. All that to say, I don't even think there would be like a good strip club called Vegas Girls. It's too beige. Anyway, so they're going to a 40 to 55-year-old matchmaking event where technology puts them together. It's weird. And then Mary's like, "But what's gonna happen if I start texting you eggplants?" Okay. And this is the second time we've talked about eggplants. Mary is this is the cringiest conversation, obviously. Like Mary just found out about emojis. She just found we've already had a whole sip and paint night where she painted them. Is Mary So, there's also a part of Mary where I'm like, "Yeah, but you also like catfished. You got into that too." Like Mary definitely knows her way around a forum. And I feel like Mary's an unlike FetLife. And yeah, I think that she really wants like a, big, and I don't mean to be crude about it, but she keeps bringing it up. And so I need to bring it up because we can't like we can't have so many instances without this woman, like her mind and soul, her body is begging us to talk about how much she needs to be dicked down. I want her to get it all. You know what? Like, I want her to just like reign, a little bit in Vegas. She should just move there and just like, get it all out. And then maybe Janelle goes to visit her like one weekend, and then just like they sign an NDA together. They don't say anything. And then she just like turns Janelle out. Janelle goes back to the farm. Janelle never says anything. Maybe one night she drunkenly tells Maddie a story and Maddie's like horrified for the rest of her life. Maddie hates Mary. Yeah, you have to remember, and by you have to, I guess I do, that Maddie hates Mary. So that could have been a reason why Janelle was so quick to be like, well, if Kody wants to fuck over Mary, he can. He can. It wouldn't be on me, it'd be him, but he could. I told him either way, it's whatever he wants to do. Um, I love that. So, in this hotel, which, they finally get to a hotel in Vegas called the English Hotel, which in my entire life, I've never heard of that place. Also remember that Mary used to live in Las Vegas. I'm not saying that they go to the, Vegas, they have to stay at the Wynn, although that would be nice, or the Bellagio, or the Cosmo. But like, it's always interesting when I like see a brand new hotel. I'm like, where is that? Definitely not on the Strip. Is that in Henderson? Where is the English Hotel? Is it English in the sense of, are they trying to have like a British theme? Are there accents in the lobby? So she also at this moment, and not this moment, right before this, was talking about how she found her relationship with Kody to be deregulating, which I was happy to hear that she is using therapy terms to make me feel like she is going to therapy. I hope she's not just using therapy terms in an Instagram way. That being with Kody would be deregulating because she would have to anticipate, when she'd get to see him and it would be so exciting. And then she wouldn't get to see him for a long time and her nervous system would crash and it would just kind of be like, maybe she get to see him again soon and the hope would be there and it would just like kind of go back and forth. Which is interesting when she said that, because I don't feel like that's how Janelle felt. But Mary in that moment sort of described the letter that Kody had written her where he was like, "Hey Mary, I know we can't be together right now as much because I'm working and I decided to like hang out with my friends and not be with you and I know that you're upset so I have to write this letter about it and like, hope you're okay and just smooth it over so when I get home at 4 p.m. and telling you exactly when I can hang out with you it brings you peace." Um Do you ever feel like you have insecure attachment, Mary? Signed Kody. Like that letter happened, and then now we get this information. And Kody talks about how she was needy. Now, I don't want to think that Cody's right, but I also feel like in this moment, yes. Maddie hates Cody. I'm sorry, Maddie hates Mary, as we said, and Janelle knows and saw it all. So Janelle's whole vibe is so different from Mary, which is interesting because Janelle's whole vibe also is very different from Christine. And they're all such different women. Mary just felt like she was, like, such a headmaster. Janelle was like, "I don't give a fuck. I just, like, down to, like, make things work and be, like, a team player." And then Christine was like a little princess, you know, and wanted to be like Susie Homemaker and also just, like, beloved by all the kids and, like, have the most, homey-esque situation. And I think that Christine having not as many, like, fertility challenges as Mary made Mary even more, hungry for power, attention, and control, and her need probably was even louder, which I'm sure came out in really shitty ways for the kids, for everyone involved, for the other wives, and for Kody. So, um at this point, though, this is not the Mary we're seeing. Mary is with Amber at the English hotel. She's popping wine. She's popping champagne with a charcuterie. She's like, these are my favorite things, like Julie Andrews. Honey, when did champagne become your favorite thing? I mean, how much do you drink? And like, I need to see Mary let loose then. Like, I need to see, okay, a great storyline, if you can get Maddie on board, because I know she hates Mary. I've said it already, would be, yeah, if Janelle and Mary can get wasted together. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think you're gonna have to just get Janelle to get wasted with someone else. Who Janelle has to get okay, this is what I take it back. Mary let's get Mary drunk wherever she wants to get drunk, okay? I think that Janelle is more attuned to someone who probably is like a weed smoker. I'm not saying that she would ever, obviously not. She's like so extremely conservative. But when I think about her and her boys and like how she kind of like kick back she is and chill, I could see a world in which they're on that beautiful farm. It's like all of her boys are there, and everyone that's like chill or cool. Peyton's not there. And they're like, "Mom, I got some gummies." Or I got, I don't want them to like they can smoke a J. Obviously they're in forest country, they have to be careful with their ashes. I could see her, like, taking a puff and, like, getting glassy-eyed and then just laughing her little boobies off, you know? And then also getting a little snacky. Yeah, okay, so moving on. So, but we're not talking about her, we're talking about Mary. Mary's obviously gonna go to this event, and she's talking about what she wants in a man. She says that she is, a whole person. She's not incomplete, and so she, at this point, needs a man that will just add to her awesomeness. There's a lot of Mary that does feel like she reads the same Instagram accounts full of, like, words on pictures all day long. And each time, each one stops her and she, like, breathes it in and is like, "Yes," and then she hearts it and, like, finds a new one. It's like, "Oh my god, new words that hit a place in me and make me feel like I'm being seen. This is only for me." Um, Mary's friend Amber is like, "What would you do if you met a Kody?" She's like, "I'd pass." She's like, "Any other name?" She's like, "I would also pass on David. I think it's weird because Christine." I was like, "That's crazy. That's crazy." It's crazy that Mary would pass on a David because she's barely met David. Like, you don't know a David that you just know. I mean, you don't know a David that has, like, harmed you. You know a David that is with someone else. David is a very common name. Cody, meh, not so much. You can go your whole life without having sex with a Cody. Truly, I have. I know Cody's. I think I am. I'm 99% sure that I'll go through my entire God's existence without having sex with anyone named Cody, but I've already had sex with a David. I think. No, but I've definitely no, actually, I take it back. I'm so sorry. I have hooked up with one, though. I've hooked up with a David. We actually didn't have sex, but I mean, whatever. That was too much, and I have to remember that I'm on live. But okay, moving on. So it's a common name. All I'm saying, Mary, and you shouldn't, like, turn it off. And also, again, that's weird because you have no they don't care about you. He doesn't give a shit about any Mary that he comes across. And when he comes across a Mary, he thinks about the 14 other Marys he met before you. Just like you, I'm assuming, should know 29 other Davids. David should be a moot name like Brian, Mike, Rob, Bill, Sam. Just, God bless. We've seen these names, like and you'll be with one at some point, especially the androgynous ones. You'll be with a couple of those. Okay. Um, Mary says that she's gullible, and Amber is like, "Yeah, like, when I'm in, I want to be all in." And I feel like what they want is for someone to not, like, play games and for someone to tell them things and have them mean what they say, which is annoying because there's the rub, dating isn't like that. Like, people lie all the time, people are, like, confusing with their intentions, and then you have to go through all of that and then go to a new person and then try and decipher how they're feeling, and their behavior could easily lead you to believe that, like, they're not interested or they're, otherwise distracted, and they are just feeling like they're just chilling. Seems to me, these ladies in this moment are talking about dating men and they're, women, cisgender, heterosexual in this one situation from what they say. And I will say from my experience, it's like sometimes feels like there's these personalities of guys where, like, one personality would be like someone who is, like, obviously trying to have sex with you, and so there's, like, love bombing and stuff like that, or, like, trying to, like, whatever, get you to meet up with them, and then there starts to be, like, red flags of what time they're wanting you to meet up, or, like, how often, like, the things they're saying, if they comment about your body, like, all of that, like, early on. Then there's the other type of men that are just, like, kind of passive. Like, if they were economists, they're, like, into laissez-faire, laissez-faire. They're like, "Eh, maybe I'll send out a text. Maybe I won't. If she sends me one, great. I might respond. Maybe I'll just heart it. We'll just see where the waves go. Like there's a lot of energies, right? When it comes to being pursued or like courtship. And I wonder how neurodivergent I am sometimes in that I truly would enjoy like an upfront situation. And you would never get that. You just never get someone who's like, I'm into you. And so just so you know, as we talk, that's what's happening. I'm into you. I'm not gonna like try and be whatever. I'm gonna like text you back and I'm going to like text you, either like when I'm thinking about you, or I'm not gonna wait for you to text or wait for you to like make plans or wait for you, someone else to do something. It's because I have a motivated mind and like an ambition and I'm like after it. And I think there's something really like in a feminine space so safe about that because you're like, oh, thank God I can relax a little bit and enjoy and then be fun and flirty. But when you have to play games and second guess, and when you have to like pursue too much or make someone be energized by like always asking questions and always picking up when they're talking and like giving details, it's just exhausting. And I also feel like, yeah, it's not as clean as it used to be. People aren't able to like look at people in the eyes and have conversations. So much of things happen over text, which is like devoid of any human connection. How do you hear someone's breath or like see what's making their eyes twinkle if you are just like in a constant, I don't know, textual relationship? And the entire generation is, right? It's so hard. You would literally just have to like only flirt with someone if you hang out with them. Be like, I don't have a phone. Sorry, you have to come to my house. You can come to my house every day for my flirt hours. I have flirt office hours between, for me, I would say my best flirt office hours are probably between 2 no, wait, I'm gonna take it back. My best flirt office hours would be like 6 to 8. Like 6 to 8 PM are my, like, greatest flirt office hours. Hopefully, I'm not too tired by that point, but I've gotten things done in the day. Hopefully, I still have makeup on, and by that point, I certainly, like, I'm assuming had gotten dressed, ha, 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 and then you can just, like, sit back and enjoy and be, like, present and make dumb jokes, and I wonder how much of that is robbed from people's lives because no one is, like, no one's able to just, like, make human eye contact and, like, human touch be a part of flirting anymore. I mean, even voice. Like, what the thing about voice is that you can hear what people's inflections are, and if people are being dumb, or people being sarcastic, or people wanting to be cute, you know? I don't understand how people tell that in texts. I can't. Like, even when I'm trying to be that, if I text it, I'm like, "Ugh." It makes me feel gross. It doesn't make me feel accomplished in my, like, flirt game. It makes me feel bored. Am I the only person that feels that way though? Like, it's so weird. Anyway, okay. So you tell me what you think. Now are we gonna see these girls go to the matchmaking event? No. And have we already seen her at a matchmaking event? Yes. And again, does this matchmaking event sound absolutely fishy and not real? Yes. But is this all we get with Mary? Yep. So even worse, Christine goes bowling poorly with clothes on that makes you feel like this person doesn't bowl ever. And she lives in a place that I'm assuming you should bowl. Why? It's Flagstaff, Arizona. It's hot a lot. Hot a lot there. It's not hot sometimes. And then you can do fun things. But what I'm saying, it's hot a lot there. And so bowling sounds great. Indoor anything sounds great. Bowling, indoor. You're welcome. So, but she's there with Isabel, Truly, and David. Now, I think I would have enjoyed like them all going to dinner and talking and then having bowling because we've heard a little bit about Truly's relationship with David and we see a little of her of like and him kind of going back and forth. But maybe it's like Christine protecting Truly and not wanting Truly to talk on TV or whatever, but it didn't feel like it was enough. And there was a lot of confessionals talking about things instead of letting us see them. Okay. So, and I'm happy about the confessionals because I want to note this, but basically, Isabel's like, I love David. At first I was really weirded out because it happened so fast. And I didn't want him to like take up too much space in my life, especially my dad shaped space. Um, which is weird because the truth is, obviously, Cody's my dad, and we've never been close. Never been close, close. Never been close, 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 close. She says close so many times where I'm like, oh my God, girl. She's like, never been like super close with my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like in the sense that he doesn't really make eye contact with me ever, like not since I turned 4. You're like, oh my God, Isabel, what? And it's true. Because, we know that Kody only likes the tenders. Just like me, I like chicken tenders and I don't like things with bones. And he likes kids that are don't talk, don't talk back. And if they talk back, it's like cute coos and stuff like that. It's not like their opinions, especially if their opinions sound like their mother's opinions, and those opinions are different from mine, therefore not good and therefore wrong. So, um, yeah, Isabel thinks bowling is boring, but she's like, I'm happy that David is like a jokester. I'm happy that he like respects the space that my dad doesn't take. So he doesn't also take that space. It feels like David just hovers around that space. And if I need someone like a little stand in for that space, he'll jump right in and then like hot potato, he'll jump right out if need be. And I really respect that about David. David has like got into a really messy situation, seemingly without, you know, getting too much drama in. Now, I would love to know Peyton's idea of David, especially because we know David's opinion of Peyton, which is that he needs to express himself. Madonna said it best, better express yourself, honey. Less with movie quotes, more with your own words. David needs Peyton to open a Substack and just like, write essays about his feelings. Then we get, oh my God, guess what? We get a Robin and Kody date at a restaurant. Date at a restaurant. Have you ever heard of it? These two crazy kids have decided to treat themselves to a good old date at a restaurant. Oh my God, every scene, so crazy. I'm like, is this low key Cody's way of going around town and being like, hey, do you want your restaurant featured on Sister Wives? I'll go on a date. And then, like, when they're not filming, just always fucking hook me up. I'm Kody Brown. I don't know. So they go to a restaurant. He pushes in Robin's chair with her, and she's sitting in the chair. And then he remarks weirdly off camera. Well, it's on camera, but like the soundbite happens very fast. That he had no problem pushing in her chair with her sitting in it. And she's like, "Well, of course," as if he's a strong man, or as if she doesn't weigh hardly a thing. It was a weird moment. Okay, there's something where she has sort of trained him to be on his best chivalrous behavior around her because when she is pleased, he can survive another day. Like it feels like that. I mean, the way in which she really has him maneuvering, I hate to say this, should be studied just by like a Yale summer course. Um, he says that after Coyote Pass, the scene we just saw where they didn't talk to anyone, everyone was like, no one talked to anyone. He said he was ashamed. And then he said, and I had a vision. Brigham Young told God, God told me. Better get my goddamn shit together and apologize. because that was a whole ass mess. And Robin has the look of the episode. Now, by look of the episode, that could mean a lot of things. You're like, Chris, does that mean that she has the fashion look of the episode? Is she giving us like, the Burberry scarf of the season? No. Cody's like, he told me that I need to apologize, that I need to own my breakups. And Robin goes through 14 different frown, pissed expressions, holding her face, like almost holding the ends of her mouth down, trying to bite them in, therefore, like turning into what looks like a snooty English barrister in response. I love this face. She's not pleased that Kody feels guilt or that he feels that he has to apologize. Because at the end of the day, if he has to apologize, he's basically apologizing for his behavior where he chose Robin over everyone, all the over all the kids, over all the wives. So when he's like, God told me I need to apologize for that behavior, Robin's hearing that behavior was wrong. God said, I should not have chosen you. To me, I think that's what that look is. Honey. I can't, well, first of all, I can't make it with the top half of my face because of the Botox, but like, it's okay. I mean, she later on was like, "Ah, yeah, and he told me that. I just didn't know what to do, so I had to just, like, wait for him to get past it." She starts to say crazy things, like, he says bananas things all the time, and I just have to, like, let it go in one ear and out the other. She has to, like, I guess in her mind, be a tree and let his crazy winds blow through her leaves, and she's just like, yeah, Cody says a lot of things that might not even happen, is what she says, which I was like, can you go into it? I mean, the way in which Robin has really shown us how much she despises him and every choice that he makes, that she doesn't have a way to like maneuver. For instance, the smelly ass mats is so funny to me. Like, it is great for me to watch this woman like be in the bed that she has made for herself. As she's talking, he starts interrupting her and asks if it's a dumb idea, and then it's like, "I'm sorry I interrupted you. It's just that often I talk and it's not clear." And it's funny because I've talked about, whether he has ADHD. I wonder if he's on medication now. I wonder if he thinks he has ADHD, because the things that he's been saying on this and Special Forces is indicative of someone that is aware. But I wanna know if it's someone that is also doing something about it. Anyway. So basically, he wants to apologize. He also says, and this is what he says he wants to apologize. It's not for saying that Robin was right, but he says he wants to apologize to the women for saying that he never loved them. And then Robin is like, that's it. That's exactly. I'm so glad, because when you said that, it was like you told me you don't love me anymore. It's because I wouldn't believe you would ever renege on saying the love word, and you did. If you did it for them, you can do it for me. He's like so upset that he like upset Robin. He's like, okay, I'll go. I'll go, Robin. With your blessing, I'll take a handkerchief, Lady Robin, and I'll go to all the devils and demons and dragons across the lands and beg for forgiveness so that you are okay. Like, it really is so crazy. You know, he seemingly did not love, I don't know who he loved. I don't know who he loved, and I don't know who he always knew that he was playing with, cosplaying with. No, I'm not really I don't really know if I love you. I'm just pretending to love you, cosplaying polygamy life. I'm the husband, you are my third wife, Christine. You come from a polygamous family that is well known, so I will cosplay as a well-known polygamous family. And I love you for that, even though when you eat, it makes me disgusted. Like, does Yeah, does he have the capacity to love, or does he only love himself? And somehow was he able to see a part of himself in Robin that he had not seen in other people? Or is Robin just such a master manipulator? I mean, these are the questions that will keep us up at night. I just um saw this thing on Substack and it made me think, can you believe it? And I end the sentence right there. And then I go on to something else. You're like, Chris, I hate you. Made you think about what? Um, just this quote. And the quote is, a part of you is completely unexplored until you meet a particular person. And then I would also add, just like we used to do when you would eat Chinese food and you get the fortune cookie in bed. When you share, you know, vulnerability and or like intimate moments with people, surely like, you find a different place in yourself. But yeah, like when you like connect romantically in bed, yeah, you definitely explore parts of your personality and psychology that it isn't so accessible with work friends or family. Surely parts of family like accesses like psychology and stuff like that. But you can really sit in those pockets a long part of your life and then, not know like any of the newness or weirdness of finding out new information until you fuck someone new. Ha ha ha. No, but I mean like or kiss someone new or smell someone new or like the intimate romantic moments of being with someone is interesting because you obviously are learning about that person in real time and then also learning about how you feel about it, what that stirs in you and what is instantaneously familiar or instantaneously so foreign and what has been not known to you your entire life but like now becomes, intrinsically needed. All of those things are so weird. It's the weird parts of, I guess, sexuality and exploration. And then sometimes I think, obviously, if you get booed up with someone that you met early on in your, life and you have been with that person the whole time, it's not that I want to take away that you don't know parts of yourself because you've only been with one person and yourself and I mean, there must not be it must not maybe so, maybe there's just I think let me say this. I don't wanna qualify things as good or bad, and I don't wanna be like, "Oh, if you know more parts about yourself, that's better." The truth of the matter is you know parts of yourself as you experience things, and so experience of new things can be new people, but the experience of things can also happen because you have been with one person for so long, and therefore you feel either comfortable or you have gotten to a place or you explore things together. So many things, honey, E&M, who knows? What am I talking about? Um, so Cody's like, I have to apologize for telling them that I never loved them. And I'm also gonna say right now that, sometimes I'm an asshole. And Robin's like, yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. Cody seemingly in one breath will be like, I don't want to take accountability. I don't want to put the blame on me. I want these people to leave me alone. And then in the same breath will be like, I'm an asshole who didn't want to do it anymore. I told them I didn't love them. And you're like, "Oh, okay, well, you know that. Yeah, well then good. Well then why did it take you so long? Because that was so obvious to everyone else." It's interesting because this is the last thing I'll say. Half of him is saying things that he thinks we want to hear. But he'll let something else slide like, "I want to apologize to all my wives so they'll stop thinking and talking about me." I just want to like okay. Christine is literally bowling with her 2 daughters and her husband. Now, your daughter was talking about you, Isabel, in relationship to how David is so lovely as a dad. Cody and Robin have talked about this situation the entire season. So for Cody to be like, "I need to apologize to my stupid ex-wives that I never loved, so they'll stop talking about me," is like, you haven't learned. you're still a nightmare. You're giving us, like, weird sound bites that maybe you and Robin went over or PR person of what you think we wanna hear, but at the end of the day, your, like, actual nature, your actual point of view, selfish, greedy, nightmarish as it is still there. He is acting from a place of being the victim. Like a he just, in his mind, has told himself, "I have been wronged. I have been victimized. These people took everything from me, and now, in my despair, I lashed out and they, rebuked me." Like, it feels biblical, and it also feels like like, him versus the world, or him and Robin versus the world. Maybe Ari's in there too. Him, Ari, Robin versus the world. I don't know if they can ever, and by they, I mean someone, can ever shift his mind to truly understand how his own choices led not only him to this place, but so many people that he led astray, that he can't possibly be the victim. It's like the captain of a ship getting mad that he had to drown with the ship, and as everyone else drowned there too, honey, as bodies are floating, he's like, "I'm the ultimate victim." And they're like, "No, bitch. Definitely, like, the people in the sturridge cabins," I don't know boat talk. Sturridge? I just pulled it out of, like, left field. Is that, like, the basement levels? There were people that had it worse than him because he was the one making all the decisions, and he got all the glory of that, and so it's crazy. And he still doesn't know it's crazy. Like, he is like, "I have to go on this apology tour so they'll stop talking about me and I'll look good." By the way, even the apology tour of the ex-wives, even in this moment, he's not like, "And my kids, of course, my kids, I have to start here." He's like, "No, I'm gonna do the apology tour, but I'll be honest, I gotta just start with Janelle because that's the one I can even muster the courage to even see. I still hate the other ones." I'll tell you, he's gonna have to go. You would know this. I mean, they did the entire schedule, but in his mind, he's like, "Janelle," and then who do you think he wants to I think he wants to apologize to Mary and then to Christine. He wants to apologize to Christine last, and she's fine. She's like, "I never wanna see him again." So many people never wanna see anyone else again. Mary in this episode's like, "I never wanna see Kody and Robin. I don't want to. I'm fine." Janelle's like, "I don't wanna see them. I don't wanna go to therapy with them. That's fine." Christine's like, "I'll never see them again." But the funny thing is Christine also is like, "Maybe someday we can all get together," but she goes back and forth. It's funny because I think they go back and forth and this, whole series is shot over like 10 years and then we see it like 14 years later, that they have to hear what they say about each other and then they get re-mad again. um, yeah, Kody is just like when it all went to shit, when the ship started crumbling, I didn't have a good attitude. Instead of being like, "Live your best life in peace," I was like, "Why are you interrupting my peace?" That did resonate because it did seem like he's like, "Why the fuck are you fucking up my life with Robin?" When everyone was like, "You fucked up our lives. You fucked up our lives, are fucking up our lives right now." And then he's like, "No, shut up, shut up, shut up. Ugh, ugh, why do I have to deal with you guys right now disturbing my peace with Robin?" They're like, "Because for the past 5 years, the past 10 years, the past 20 years, the past my whole life, you ruined my life. So you've disturbed my peace. And so now I need to get the fuck out. So deal with it." I wonder if there would ever be a way for him to like see another point of view besides his. Like, there is no way for him to put himself in another person's shoes. He's so black and white about things. It's so very binary. It's my way, it's everyone else's way. It's man's way, it's woman's dumb's way. It's, like, what, it's like everything is so stringent in his mind. Good, bad, masculine, feminine. It's a battle up there, truly. All right, my loves, that's the end of the episode. What'd you guys think? He got married way too quickly due to his religion. Yeah, well, yeah. A lot of people did. Whole generations did. Oh my God. Worked at a cocktail waitress at the Crazy Horse Miami. At the time, it was the home of the Italian Stallion. Ah, memories. Oh my God, I can only imagine, honey, what that nay stallion was like. Did he get a lot of tips? Did he get bucked? Okay, my loves. What else is happening? I'm super excited. Oh, sorry. Super excited to do toe with you tomorrow. I'm probably gonna do toe around 5 or 6 p.m. So we'll do 90 Day Fiance the other way together tomorrow, Tuesday, around 5 or 6. I'll make I just have to look over my day and make sure I can be home by that time. I'll make a link and I'll put it in Vanity Fair, which is the name of my new podcast. Yay! But it's not launched yet. I have Vanity Fair as a private Facebook group where I post before I go live. Of course, Chris Farah is also on Facebook. You can like that page. I stream on Facebook and YouTube, Chris Farah. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, give it a thumbs up, honey. Make sure that you enjoy. Make sure that you tell the algorithm that you enjoy this video is what I should say. I would certainly appreciate it. My hair didn't dry as much as I thought it was going to be done by the end of this. Okay, so Chris L. Farah exists on Instagram and TikTok, and I'll be doing another roundup of 90 Day News, which I'm really excited about. Most tips went to the male dancers. Interesting. Huh. Was it all the tips went to male dancers? Was it a gay strip joint? I mean, usually exotic dancers, like models, is a female-dominated industry. Usually the females make more money. One of the only ones. That's not true, but historically. Anyway, sex sells. And feminine forms are beautiful. I think male forms are very beautiful, but universally, I guess people like females more. So it's true. Chris L. Farah on Instagram and Instagram and TikTok. I will be doing my roundup of 90 Day News coming up. I'm super excited to be doing like a little less than a minute roundup of what's happening on the street /Reddit/Instagram so that can be like a fun little feature. Substack exists. I think December 3rd is the tell-all for Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. As we know, Whitney just got her first Broadway credit. She's going to be on Broadway as Roxy Hart in Chicago. Oh my God. I've only wanted to be on Broadway my whole goddamn life. Now, Roxy doesn't sing my favorite song from Chicago, which is obviously All That Jazz. So, but I can hold space. She's a great dancer, and I'm happy for her. Tom Stoppard also passed away, who is a prolific playwright. So holding space in the theater community for Tom Stoppard. God bless. So that happened. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, 90 Day Fiance. Then also 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days premieres Sunday, yesterday, a week from yesterday. And then we get to talk about that. So all the things. Thank you so much for being here. Obviously, I love you guys and appreciate you spending any time with me at all. I hope that your holidays were good. It's December, so set some intentions for yourself. I'm going to lean into really maintaining eye contact, my eye contact game, and also B, saying no to things, putting a period, and then requiring myself to take 3 breaths before I can talk again. So it'll look like this. I'll go, "No." Oh, no, it'll be like, Chris, can you give me $1,000,000?" "No. I don't actually have $1,000,000, so it was an easy one to say no to, but you know what I'm saying? I couldn't think of something in the moment. That's 1 breath. So anyway, oh, no, it was women clients and male dancers. Oh, okay. Honey, that thunder down under. All right. So yeah, that's what I'm working on intentions wise, but tis the day, tis the season to get yourself aligned. So wherever you are, if you have some time, give yourself 10 minutes to write in your bed or write on your couch, turn off your devices and set some sort of like intention for the month, the week, the rest of the year, yourself, and have it be centered around what will give you peace and grace. Just like Kody doesn't want his stupid, unlovable wives to steal his peace. The truth of the matter is, I mean, we allow people to steal our peace. So in a way, we steal our peace. So make some intention so you don't steal your own pieces. Okay. Let's breathe and let's do our, you know, present moment work together. And then we'll bid adieu. All right. 2 breaths, let it all out, let it all in, let it all out, let it in. We're together. We've shared this space together for this moment at 5:19 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can be in a different time zone. We are, in fact, all together right now. Isn't that weird? You can't deny it. So let it all out. And thank you for being here with me. Rehearsal breath. Opening night breath right now. Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? And all that jazz, I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll my stockings down. All right, my loves. Thank you so much for spending time with me. On the docket, obviously coming up, as I said, 90-day toe tomorrow and Sister Wives, no, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives tell all on Wednesday. All right. All right, babes, take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art. And I'll talk to you later. I forgot to put on chapstick this whole time. I had bare lips. All right, babes. Bye. Like this video. Give me a little thumbs up. Leave a comment.